Welcome to today's PowerUp training. We're going to be going over the point of sale piece of the system. Now, for those of you who are not using this piece, please be aware it is a granular piece of the system. It only exists within the director side. It is not available to community members. We do also have two user roles called point of sale cashier and point of sale shift manager. These granular roles only allow access to the point of sale piece of the system. Now, the difference between the two is if you would like us to turn on shift reports, the point of sale shift manager will be able to open and close the register. To start building your point of sale system, you're going to go to your point of sale tab and start out with your item categories. So this is how you're going to group your sale items. And when you click Add New, you're just going to type in how you plan to group them. If there's going to be sales tax and the general ledger code associated with it. Now, if you want all of the buttons under a certain category to be one color, please feel free to select any color from the color wheel right here and hit choose and save that. It'll default any sale items you make within that category to that color. So once you make the category, the next thing that you're going to do is start creating your sale items. So you go to your sales item subtab and click add new item. Type in the name. Now, for those of you who are going to use a barcode scanner to help expedite your point of sale system, or if you have a pro shop or something that sells a heavy volume of items, please use the SKU piece of this system and a barcode scanner. You can actually scan, a Coca-Cola bottle and it will always ring up the same way as if you were in a grocery store. You just scan that in right here. Select the category from the drop-down that it'll fall under. If there's a general ledger code associated with that category, it will automatically fill in. Now, if you want to assign a different one, of course, you can change the information here. Then the next step is adding the unit price. Now, the important piece to the unit price is that it's going to be how much you charge per unit. If it's something that's variable, please contact your customer success manager so we can discuss alternative ways. Some people find the best result if there's variable amounts people can pay for the same thing is to just create a different button for each amount, because your point of sale cashiers, your point of sale shift managers, or your associates in your system will not be able to adjust that price during checkout. Only your assistant directors and directors would be able to adjust the prices during checkout. And you can also use this to track inventory. Now, for those of you who just want to know how many day passes you might be selling in a system, or if you are using this to track inventory, like basketballs that you hand to your members that they can borrow and then return to you at the end of the day. Please click the track inventory box, because then the information is going to be tracked within the system. And once you've created your items, the next step is to go to the location tab where you're going to click add location. You guys are going to laugh. It's just choosing which facility from your facility list that you want to add the register to. Now, once you've added your facility, if you have turned on shift reports, you'll have the ability to add multiple registers to the same location. So you would just come here, add new register, and say what this new register's name is going to be. Now, available items. This is when you're going to manage available items. This is how you say, these are the things we sell at the basketball court versus the things we sell over at the pool versus the things we're selling in-house in the recreation department. And just a reminder, none of these items should be specific program registrations or memberships or facility reservations. The point of sale piece is not going to communicate with the other parts of the director, with the director piece of the system. Those are all their own separate registration areas. So the point of sale piece should be used as a true point of sale system. And once you've added your items, if the item has an inventory or wants you to track inventory, I recommend at this point you go into the item. And if you want to start with a current inventory in stock, click Manage Inventory, manually manage, and you can add, subtract, or transfer. So transfer would be good for when your pool shuts down at the end of season and you want to move all of your sodas and snacks into the recreation point of sale system so that they can sell it indoors for a little while. And that information will get tracked down here. Now, when you're ready to open your point of sale system for the first time, you can either go from the point of sale tab and click on Point of Sale Terminal, or click Go to Point of Sale. Then select your register and click. And this register is already open, so I'm going to show you how to close it and then how to open it afterwards. However, this box is important to pay attention to. For those of you who are using thermal printers or would like to use a thermal printer or a cash drawer, please remember to check this box off before you open your register. If you have not used either item before, but you would like to use them in the future, please use our support center. If you click on our support center link, I'm sorry, it seems my computer froze a little bit. There we go. You'll be able to see all the articles for setting up the thermal printer and cash drawer, as well as which one we connect with. And when you click on Next to open your register, this is the point of sale screen. You can barcode scan things if you decided to assign USB codes to if you decided to assign codes to your items and scan them in. For those of you who use the day pass feature, maybe you want to make that part a little bit faster. Please feel free to assign a barcode ID to your day passes, because then your staff can always keep a piece of paper next to the register to quickly scan versus searching for the item. You can search for the items up here in the top left. And if you have trouble reading the full name of the button and you want to change your view, we have the button view or display view. So this will let you read a little bit more information on the buttons. Now, this basketball number 12 I set up earlier as an example of if you charge $1 for them to use the basketball and then you hand the $1 back at the end of the day once they're done with it. You put the basketball into the cart, hit checkout. Now, if I'm going to hand you $1 in cash, you're going to choose cash. For those of you who may use us for equipment rentals, or if you just want your member to be able to track their receipts on their invoice, on this screen, you want to pause so you can hit search. Start typing in their last name and hit select next to the person's name. That way the invoice and payment is going to be stored to that profile. Now, if you have the thermal printer connected and you follow our steps and are using Firefox to auto print, then right now this would automatically print. However, I don't have anything set up on my computer, so I would need to manually click this print button and print the receipt if it's something that I would like them to see. Now, at the end of the day, when somebody comes to return the basketball, all you need to do is hit this point of sale actions, process return, changes to a bit of pinky screen color, and then you just choose the basketball and continue. Now, at this stage, you can return it back to the member's account, or just say that you're handing them back the cash because they returned the basketball with no problems. That piece, I'll show you where you'll see the inventory for it. Now for your sales, we also have this apply discount coupon option. If you do discounts and you set them up under your admin tab, manage custom lists, manage point of sale discounts or coupons, you'll have them available here if they've been enabled. So I like the example of employee 10. That's going to automatically take 10% off of the invoice before I process the checkout. Now, for those of you who have not used point of sale, but you're interested in practicing and you're worried about the financial aspect, please feel free to practice. Use the check fee or the cash or check feature so that it's not a real credit card charge, and practice doing that within the point of sale side. That way, at the end of the day, when you've practiced a couple transactions, you can view recent transactions and you can just avoid them. You can type in a reason for void too if you'd like. And that will void the invoice and the payment. So please be extra cautious when you're using the void feature in point of sale, especially when it comes to the credit card piece of it. Point of sale does not allow a direct to credit card return. So for those of you who do have instances where they want a credit card refund, please be aware you'll have to do those steps on the money tab within the invoice itself. And then at the end of the shift, you can close the register. This is where you're saying how much money you either open with or you're closing with, and you can put in some notes. And this will run a report. Now, if you are using the point of sale shift manager, they do have the ability to print their report. So if your organization does what a previous employer of mine did, I would print out that type of shift report, and any money above my opening balance, I would wrap it in the report and I would put it in the finance person's office so that they can do a deposit. And these reports, if you're looking for more, you can run on the reports tab under the point of sale shift report. Now I'm going to come back real fast because I want to show you one thing with the basketball number 12. If you need this for inventory purposes, the reason I recommend attaching the member's name is on the item. If you see it hasn't been returned and you don't have it on your racks, you can't find it. You can go here into the item history and see who it was that was the last person to reserve that ball, so you can follow up if that's something you would like to do and find out what happened to it. So now I'm going to open up the floor so that we can go over any questions you might have. Please feel free to type them into the note box. And while we wait, as a reminder, we do have the support center where you'll be able to come here to see a bunch of written articles about the point of sale system and how it can be used, as well as a link for the a specific article for our PowerUp videos. We try to get them posted by the next day, by the next morning, hopefully by 5 p.m. at earliest. And any of the recent PowerUps will be right here. If you prefer YouTube videos, please scroll down even further anywhere on the Support Center and you can click on our YouTube icon where you'll be able to go into the Leagues playlist and watch short videos. Into the point of sale playlist and go into short videos. So my first question is, you said a refund to credit card transaction, you need to do it in the money tab under the invoice. Does this work for security deposits also, or just point of sale? Christy, the way you normally do a refund for your security deposits is not changing. It's just because in the point of sale piece, Oop, I have to open this. Sorry, everyone. That's what it'll look like when you go to open. When you go to process a return for an item and you choose credit card, see how it says manual? For those of you who have authorize.net and have that feature turned on to automatically go back to a credit card, the point of sale piece does not have that ability. So if you do need it to go back to a credit card, you will need to come into the Money tab. Now, I suggested the invoice list, but for those of you who are more comfortable with the payment reconciliation piece, you can also come here. And then this is the area where you would need to properly issue a refund to have it returned to the credit card. Quick reminder for everybody who does that process that same-day refunds work the same way as a void. So if you refund somebody's credit card on the same day, you essentially don't show that information on any of your reports because the processor will void it out. Do we have any other questions for today? Okay, well, I'm going to leave the room open for a few more minutes in case any more questions roll in. Otherwise, thank you all for joining us today and have a great rest of your day.